pile in. Got the ads queued as well, so... Right, we're all sweet. Let's do it.
Works for me.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Marlins. This is your daily Marlins podcast with me, Peter Pratt. And don't forget to follow me, of course, guys, on Twitter at MiamiMarlins_UK. Don't forget the underscore. No TikToks, no Instas, none of that. Twitter only for me. Don't forget to subscribe to the pod or even the YouTube channel if you are indeed watching. And if you are watching, it's the Thursday episode. As I teased out yesterday, Alex Ferrer is in the house. How we doing, brother?
I am doing well, Peter. Thanks for having me. I consider you, honestly, the best Marlins content creator there is. Funniest shit I've ever seen. When you give me your recaps, I look forward to that shit more than anything. I need an update. I'm watching that shit. Funniest one-liners I've ever heard. Awesome content, man. I'm glad I could be on here with you. Looking forward to it.
Absolute legend, mate. I appreciate it. And then, guys, that is the Thursday episode of Locked on Marlins done. We are out of here.
All right, wrap it up.
There we go. That's it. We're out of here. That was all the content we needed for this
That's
one.
all
I think everyone got what they wanted out of this one, mate. It's been a fun Marlins season for different reasons and ones that we weren't expecting. Just before we dig into some of the topics, tell me something that has brought you fun or entertainment with this Marlins team in the past couple of weeks, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, I always find something fun in my words, I guess, because I can make fun out of any of it, whether they're bad, they're good. If they're good, it's a lot more enjoyable, right? But if they're bad, I can still make, I guess I should say something funny about the situation more so than fun. Because as I mentioned to you just a few minutes ago before we started, like Peyton Burdick, we're joking around saying, oh, maybe he struck out in his third at bat or something. Like, to me, that's fun and funny, you know, maybe not fun for them because they're suffering, but for me, it's funny. So besides the fact of that, I mean, don't know if you saw, but I was able to go to Lone Depot Park for the first time in 10 years to kind of check it out this past weekend. And it was fun getting to check it out. I mean, mixed reviews on some of the different aspects of the park, but yeah, it was nice to, you know, go check that place out that I haven't been to in a decade. So
Wow.
I guess recently that would be a fun thing I was able to do.
Which day were you there? What game did you see?
I was unfortunately at the game where Acuna hit a first pitch home run.
Oh,
So,
my days.
Yeah, so second game, doubleheader Saturday. Sit down in my seat, you know, a lot of chaos. We can discuss that later, but as soon as I'm sitting down, I look at my phone real quick, hear the crack of the bat, I look up and, you know, more Braves fans than Marlins fans, unfortunately. So everyone's going fucking ape shit, and I'm like, you know what, this is already not well, but we rode through it. 7 innings. I couldn't give it 8 or 9. I really couldn't. We tried to tough it out, but you know, that was unfortunately the game I was at, which wouldn't have mattered since they didn't win anything. So
Mate, that's hysterical because on Monday's episode of Locked On, I've got the usual guest on, Sean Barrett, and we were talking about that game, and I was saying about the main takeaways from that series, and I said my main takeaway was that game 2 Saturday, they should refund everyone that was there because they were trying not to win that game. They didn't put their best foot forward. They didn't, and it's so funny that you then come on a paid. Yeah. Did you pay to get in? I don't know. Maybe you had free tickets. I don't know, but
I wish I had free tickets. But my lovely wife, back in December for a Christmas present, she's like, you know what? I got tickets to Marlins Braves game August. I'm like, wow, that's wonderful. So like I'm like excited in like December, like, wow, we're gonna be good, maybe playoff team. Like, let's get this going. Then I watched 3 dudes and that I always say are gonna be bagging groceries soon. They're all pitching in the game, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then once I saw God bless him, I don't know his name, AJ Ludwig, I'm sorry. But once I saw that dude was pitching 3 innings, I knew this was a disaster. So I mean, it was more for the experience than knowing I'm going to see some quality baseball, which is very few and far between nowadays. So, that was special.
This has killed me. The fact, I mean, and I'm completely with you. In December, at Christmas time, you're going, you know, let's go to a Marlins Braves game in the middle of August when they're in the hunt, you know, home game on a Saturday. That's going to be packed. That's going to be pumped. And then
I will admit, it was Dominican Heritage Night, and they had a giveaway. So more than I would have guessed for a Marlins game. Plus, it's the Braves. But Absolutely. As I mentioned, so many Braves fans in comparison to Marlins. Giveaway helps. Dominican Heritage Night helps. But still, that was a sparse crowd from no middle tier, obviously no upper deck, very scattered throughout the first baseline. But I don't know how they can expect to do any better, honestly. So
no. I've got two final follow-ups on that game specifically for you. What did you make of Acuna's home run trot, by the way, that seemed to take a long time?
It did. So I mentioned in the past how I think the dude's I don't know, I'm not real fond of him. But when the Marlins are throwing Tommy Nance out there, to start a game, and he's throwing you a meatball down to tits, swing and you crush it, by all means, you could dance, you could do somersaults, cartwheels, I don't care. Like, you deserve it, man. This is a disaster. I mean, anything but a home run there would probably be, like, lower odds, I guess. So I'm not a huge Ronald fan, but in that situation, didn't bother. I think I even laughed out loud. As soon as I saw the ball where it was headed, I just laughed. And, of course, I have Brave fans all around me, so they probably think I'm a Braves fan. So, probably. I don't know. It was it is what it is. The theatrics of doing whatever after you do something good, by all means, I'm totally fine with that. What's more annoying with him is, like, let's get a pitch inside on accident. Let's say Eliezer's pitching. We all know he ain't the best. So if he's throwing something that drifts inside, no need to get it like into a tizzy because of that. It is what it is. But the home run trot, all that stuff, I think it's hilarious. It's great.
All good. Yeah. It's fair to say you're known. This is the final question about this game. And sorry to kind of prolong the pain. I didn't mean to.
Fine, no
I didn't mean to. I didn't even know you went to that game. I wish I'd known that before.
No
problem. You're known on Twitter, it's fair to say, with some spicy takes, let's say, some heavy opinions, some loud opinions at times. I absolutely love it. I think it's very fun, and that's exactly what Twitter's designed for sure. It's entertainment and it's fun. That's why we go on there. What do you like actually at the ballpark? Are you vocal? Are you just sitting there calm? What are you doing?
Well, the only real ballpark experience I can go off of, since I haven't been to like a Marlins game in so long, is going to like a D-backs game. They're only like 20 minutes away from me. So real different experience when you go to the two. And I'm trying not to talk too much about like the ballpark features, but I will. So like going into the game, one thing I noticed is different just to compare. Like San Diego I've been to, Chase Field, other places, as far as I'm aware, you get to go into the game or go through the gates before like an hour before first pitch. When I went to the Marlins game, I don't know why, if there's a difficulty or if it's a standard for the Marlins, but like they didn't open the gates till 1 hour to first pitch. And being a giveaway day and all that, you got a sizable crowd of people waiting to go in. Kind of hot and humid Florida. It was overcast, so thank God. But all these people waiting to go in, then 1 hour right before pitch, you got a flood of people trying to go in. Real disorganized with their giveaway. Cool giveaway. Annoying. Musical instruments are annoying at games. But real cool giveaway. But anyways, when you go through the gate, you got one dude in the corner with a bunch of boxes, which was the giveaway. And he's like just kind of like almost chucking them at people because there's like a flood of people trying to get on this escalator to go up to the main concourse. And that was unique to me because if I'm going back to like Arizona and Chase Field, you walk in, they scan your ticket. There's one designated person with the giveaway, each line, giving it to you smooth flowing. Marlins game seemed like chaos. It was all over the place. And since you let all those people in at once, like 1 hour before first pitch, you're trying to walk on their concourse. And I swear to God, they measured 10 foot of concrete and they're like, we're all good to go. Let's wrap this bitch around the whole ballpark and everyone can walk on here at once. You would have thought there was 60,000 people in that ballpark a half hour before game if you looked at the concourse only. Yeah. So I'm like trying to carry my beer and a pizza, and I'm like, God help me, trying to walk to my seat. I gave up. I dipped out towards the first baseline where they got like the standing room to like eat and drink. So I just kind of hung out there for a little bit just because it was madness on the concourse. I'm like, holy hell. So it just seems like it's a little dysfunctional down there. In more ways than one. I
was about to say, I mean, that's an interesting segue in many ways. Yeah, like, is that absolutely representative of this organization right now in your view? Like, it does. Obviously, Derek Jeter, the big news, like, during the offseason, basically, I guess being fired. We don't know the exact specifics, but let's just say Jeter was fired from this role for whatever reason. Kim Ang remains, and Bruce Sherman, Gary Dembo is binned as well through the year. I mean, it feels like it's a bit of a chaotic situation right now in the front office, and maybe that's kind of bleeding into the major league club and the minor league system as well. I mean, there's been a lot of kind of churn right now at that level. You're seeing it in the ballpark experience itself. That feels chaotic. Everything's chaotic here with the Marlins, and it's kind of bleeding into this major league team, you'd think, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like there's a structure for anything, like whenever I don't think Kim Ng's a bad person by any means, but the way Michael Hill is the same, I'll be honest, but the non-answers when she's asked questions, and then it just seems like we're firing people but not replacing people, and it just seems like a kind of a mess. Like we don't really know what to do. And obviously Bruce Sherman, I rip on Kim Ng all the time, but Bruce Sherman is like the main person to go at here, right? Like he bought the club. He's got like 14 other investors with him, millionaires, billionaires. And like, there's just like no direction, no like, I don't know, end game in sight. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like we'll try to figure and piece things together out in the off season, which I don't see how anyone would be confident in at the moment. It's just, since there's no direction, it's just like, what is going to happen? They may do something, but we all think everything works out when Jeter was around, for example. Like when he first came into the picture, everything he was doing, and we're like, oh, hell, this is going to be wonderful. Like he's bringing in Gary Denbo or whoever, Dan Greenlee. These guys are awesome. And 5 years later, like nothing's working out. So it's like, let's say they replace these folks. Why would we be confident in new people just like that, Obviously, I guess it's not Jeter's folks, but does Kim Ng have people to bring in that are going to help? I mean, I don't know if she's around. So no direction for anything. It's wait and see for everything. So
you raise an interesting point there, a question that's been in my mind that I've asked the guest this week. Is Kim Ng, is she on the hot seat right now? Like, is there a realistic pathway to her not being the GM in the near term, do you think?
I don't think she would get canned after this year, especially. I think they would give it another year because I'm sure we'll touch topic on this a little bit later, but it depends where the club's going. Like, are they going to spend a little bit? I don't think that's likely. Are they going to try to just piece together some trades, maybe sign some mid-level, low-level free agents? I think they'll give her another year because if everyone wants to blame Avi Garcia on Jeter and just say she was Soler and Wendell and Scott, give her another year, see what she's doing, because it's not all on her. Like, she obviously has a group of people she works with. So I think she gets at least another year to kind of see how things are going. I don't think Bruce Sherman's real aggressive anyways to do anything like that. So I definitely think she'll get another year. But, I mean, it's kind of on Bruce to see if he gives her any money to try to get talent to get better. Because realistically, you can't sign another Jorge Soler type, just mid-level guy, low-level, and say we're okay going forward. We got Blade,
run it back, baby.
Sanchez. Yeah, you can't run it back. Don't run it back. So I think she'll definitely get another year at least just to kind of see how things go. But if they stay on this trajectory, it's not going to get better. So
when you look at the San Diego Padres that we have had a series against this week, and it wasn't obviously on the road in San Diego, but when you look at what they have become in many ways, what they have done, their aggressiveness with trades, everything, their payroll, the stadium's packed out, the ballpark's packed out. The Padres, like the Marlins, should be looking across there at San Diego going, hold on a minute. Like we as fans, Marlins fans, should be looking across in San Diego and going, something's not right here. This team in South Florida, in Miami, one of the biggest sporting hotbeds there are in the world, perhaps. And this is what the Marlins are putting out? Yeah. And then you look over at San Diego, they're trading for Juan Soto and everything else they've done.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
To have, right? Yeah.
I think us as fans were being taken for fools, to be honest with you. Like, I do. I just feel like, this is a financial situation where you've just got these investors looking at, they're looking for return on investment. What's ever happened to get in there, spend your dough, win the trophy, rather than, hey, I want to have a 14% return on this capital investment,
And the crazy thing is Bruce Sherman, like, especially when he first came on board, preached so hard how he's a huge Marlins fan and always has been. You would think you would want to pitch in a little more money and not act like a Loria. and try to make things better, you know?
Yeah.
So that's just kind of the weird thing, in my opinion, how seems like a nice guy, but he's like always preaching out. He's a huge baseball fan, always was a Marlins fan, wants them to do great. We're going to spend money, the free agent deadline in July, all these things, right?
Yeah.
And then, nothing happens, and it's kind of like idle and just seems like not caring, for lack of a better term. But if that was your goal when you first came here, you wanted to differentiate yourself from them, and you preached how you're a Marlins fan, why would you, pop out these payrolls that are top 5 worst in the league, if I had to guess? I'm sure they are. Why wouldn't you try to do something to differentiate yourself from past ownership that everyone disliked? That's the concerning and troubling thing, in my opinion, with that.
The problem is they're at a point now where they're about to get found out in some ways, because the players they've drafted and tried to develop or traded for and develop, they're not working, and they're not to the level that they maybe hoped they would be or wanted them to be. And all of a sudden, that is going to create a massive hole in this major league roster on the offensive side. We've already seen that this year, and it's going to continue. So the only way to plug that, and we really got into this yesterday with Kenny as well, is, and he was very much banging this drum about spending dough. You got to spend the money to plug the gaps. There's guys out there that you could go and get that could be difference makers for the Marlins.
Absolutely.
Do you think they'll ever do it though? And this is the key question. It's the $1 million or $100 million question or $200 million question.
Yeah, I mean, from everything we've seen so far, we have not seen any inclination that they are going to do that. Bruce Sherman can say all he wants about it. We have money, we're going to spend it, and then he followed up by spending $30 million for Jorge Soler on an awful deal. Great for the player, but for a small market team, that's horrible. Holy hell, I'm so mad about Bruce Sherman, I lost my thought. I'm sorry. I forgot the guy's name, but he mentioned me on Twitter earlier in a mention. I think his name might have been David. He was saying that the Marlins could sign Trey Turner, Dansby, one of those guys, plus a couple other mid-level guys, and they're still going to have a payroll that's lower half of the league by far.
Yeah.
So even we're not asking him to go give $300 million contracts out. Trey Turner is going to fetch a pretty penny. But even if you do spend that level of money, you're still not anywhere near a major league average, which is sad. I mean, they're going to end up wasting Sandy's years, unfortunately, if they don't change. I feel like this is the time you got to risk it with at least one sizable contract and get the team some help. Because if you're wasting Sandy, Pablo when he's healthy, and I mean, he's having a rough stretch, but he's obviously been proven to be really good. Edward Cabrera is looking good. Braxton Garrett somehow is making my takes horrible, and he's not looking like Wei Yin Chen anymore. And I mean, they got the arms to be competent. It's just, why aren't you paying any attention to the hitters? And I think it was last year when Ing was we know we weren't going to have a good offense. We just, who the hell says that? Make up a fucking lie or something and say, whoops, accident, we're trying to get better. Not, fuck it. They weren't the best. It's okay.
You've got to be honest.
If I was Sandy, I'd be furious, he got some money. He's obviously going to get a huge contract down the road. But, you're wasting your time here with, no offense to, Luke Williams, but, he's running out there with Burdick and Jesus Sanchez and Aguilar and Stallings. Good God. You look at the OPS on the team and,
oh, my days.
Holy hell, it's a disaster.
Mate, you make I've completely forgot about that comment from Kim. I was actually on that call, and I remember her saying that on that call. And it's funny, littered through Kim's stint as GM, be it in these kind of calls, the Zoom calls, obviously, back in 2021. Then the broadcast situation too, where she's on the broadcast being asked questions, or even the media stuff that's happening. There always seems to be some sort of faux pas that she drops where everyone kind of goes, did she really say that? To your point, to come out and say, we didn't think the offense was going to be that good this year. What's she talking about? You can't say that. And, this faux pas about Avi Garcia, hey, a career 30 home run guy, he's never hit 30 home runs in his life.
I literally rewound my TV 4 times just to kind of get it as accurate as possible. And then Craig was like, "There's no way she said that." And I'm like, "I'm a paraphrase for you, but it was pretty much he's an annual 30 homer guy."
Yeah,
it's like nuts. That's
remember.
like she can't be like that uninformed on the player she has. Like, you got to know something. Like, you could be like, he has power. Like, that's believable because he has some power.
Yeah.
But saying he's 30 homers a year, what the hell is going on? You know? Crazy.
Blame it on Derek Jeter. Anyway, let's get the first ad out the way because we've got tons more to get into here. And I mean, this is one of my new favorite ads they've got going on now. So guys, and you're hanging out with some friends and putting back a few beers and a few drinks, no doubt about it, a few becomes a few too many. And as the evening comes to an end, people start to head out. You think of calling for a ride. Nah, you're going to live nearby. You got to make it home okay. No big deal. What are the odds you're going to get pulled over anyway? And even so, what's the worst that could happen? Your insurance goes up, lose your license, lose your job, total your car, kill someone? Everyone knows about the risks of driving drunk. The results are tragic and often deadly. However, that still doesn't stop everyone from getting behind the wheel under the influence. That's why police officers are out there right now looking for impaired drivers on our roads to save lives. So, if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Play it safe and plan ahead to get a ride. It only takes one mistake to change your life, or someone else's, forever. Drive sober or get pulled over. Boy, oh boy, that's... I mean,
it's a hard-hitting ad right there.
Hard-hitting ads. They know their audience on Locked On Marlins. This is it. Everyone's drunk at the wheel here, I guess, and on Marlins fans. Oh boy. Mate, when we kind of, you know, we've bashed plenty of the guys this year. I've bashed them, you've bashed them, everyone's been bashed them, and rightly so. The offense has been historically bad. They should be bashed. The players, for want of trying, and it's not through lack of effort or trying, they've been terrible. When you look at this roster right now, and I don't think I can include Avi Garcia in there. Maybe I can, but maybe if you take Avi out, who are the guys that you would desperately just want to fire to the moon right now and just never see them as Marlins players ever again?
If I could get rid of, like, on the currently playing folks or
current?
God. See, the problem is, like, I don't want, like, I like the guys. Like, I want them to do well, but they just suck. So, since they got rid of Jesus Sanchez, he seems like a lovely guy, but holy hell, he's horrible. I hope he enjoys Jacksonville for a long time, you know? Jacob Stallings, I'm just going to go around the horn real quick. Jacob Stallings, I don't actually have a problem with him being on the team as a backup.
Okay.
I think he's okay in that role. Like, I wouldn't complain. They've had Jeff Mathis for 5+ years, and I had to deal with that. So Jacob Stallings, I wouldn't mind. Is he awful? Hell yeah, he is. I don't want to see that dude starting maybe more than once a week. Okay, if they feel like he gives Sandy magical powers, which he doesn't, like, then just keep him with Sandy. That's fine.
Okay.
Aguilar, hilarious, can't play. Joey Wendell, don't know what happened, man. I swear to God, like, in June, he was like cooking. He was doing really good.
Agreed.
I checked him out like this morning or yesterday. He's got like barely a 300 on base. A little concerning. I can't fire him to the window. Can't do it. Miguel Rojas. I might catch some heat, but I'm going to send Miggy to the moon because I'm tired of Miggy. Seems like a lovely guy. You know, I had no issues with Miguel until his weird thing this year, but Miguel's got to go. If I see Miguel on the team next year, I may fucking go crazy. I really might. That might be worse to me if Miguel's starting shortstop again next year. That may be worse to me than like the Avi contract. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I just can't watch him start another fucking game. Like, when I watch the Marlins, I see Rojas. My wife, that's her favorite player. Don't know why. I think she saw his shoes. Saw his shoes, and she's like, "Holy hell, these shoes are cool." I'm like, "Well, that doesn't make him a good baseball player." But Miguel Rojas, I'm sorry, he's gone. Brian Anderson, I don't know what the hell he is anymore. He's just like a copy and paste guy I've seen for so many years. He's just there.
Yeah.
Burdick, I honestly think they may release him after that year. I swear to God, I don't see what they're going to do with him. They got so many like mid-level just garbage in AAA, Major League, AA, like just congregating. I feel like he's just going to get squeezed out somehow. Bleday. I have done a lot of bad words for JJ Bleday.
Oh boy.
But to be honest, he's been far more competent than I thought he was going to be. The low average doesn't really bother me. If he gets on base, which he's not really doing too much of, but like that's his shtick. If he gets on base, has some power, I'm fine with him playing. Like, sounds dumb because I'm complaining about them not spending, but if he has some kind of starting role if they don't spend next year, like, I'm not going to be mad at that. And Avi, I'm fucking stuck with him forever. Like, I'm not attaching Yuri to him. I've joked about that,
No
but
way.
like, there's no way. Like, right? We're just stuck with him. Let's hope he had a miracle hits and he's hitting like 270 with 30 homers, like Kim says. I will take that. But like, I never not root for that guy because I know I'm stuck with him. So I want him to do good. Like, if I'm watching, God, I don't know, someone garbage, like, no offense to Luke Williams, but I'm picking on Luke Williams. Like, if he sucks, like, that's hilarious, man. Like, keep sucking. I get some memes off. But like Garcia, I have to watch him for 4 more years. Like, he needs to do good, right?
Yep.
So if I'm only getting rid of or firing someone away, realistically, it's just going to be Miguel Rojas right now, which is sad because he's captain, right? But I just got to get rid of him. I'm sorry.
What's changed for you with Miggy? Because it's a funny one, right? I sense this has happened in general. Like, it's the more generalist vibe I get on Twitter. And I don't know, I mean, maybe we all influence each other, I don't know. But the sense I get now is that the Marlins fans and Miguel Rojas, the time has maybe ended or something has changed. And what you know, I know you're in that headspace, but what changed?
Sure. Well, let's dissect here. So a couple years back, right? Rojas, nice guy, lovable guy, plays good defense, still plays great defense. Was hitting a little better than he is now. I think my opinion on Rojas started to change when Jeter left. Because I remember Rojas saying something along the lines of, oh, if Jeter's gone, like, what is this organization doing? Like, it kind of framed it into like being, he's more like a Jeter fanboy than caring about what's actually going on. It sounds stupid, but I remember him complaining so much when Jeter left, saying, oh, are we going to do the right thing, blah, 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 which he's actually correct because the team isn't really spending money or doing anything that's beneficial. But in my opinion, which is totally not fact-based, it just feels like Miguel is like trying to take over a Jeter like captain quality where things need to be this way and blah, blah, blah. And that's, in my opinion, evident by the team meeting they had that Garrett Cooper thought was garbage, right? I feel like he's trying to take on a captain leadership role, which he's unofficially the captain of the team, right? Like, been there God knows how many years, 7, 8, maybe. But I feel like he's kind of pushing it too far where he wants to be, I'm Miguel Rojas, I'm the Miami Marlins, we're funneling shit through me, right? I'm the boss. Like, that's just my impression I get off of him. And I mean, he was kind of funny when he went on Twitter, like when the whole jazz and that was a big thing. He was like talking to Kenny, talking to me, talking to other people, just like kind of bantering with fans, like kind of going at him. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Like, fucking
Weird.
Chill out. You know, if you did a dumb meeting and it was pointless, just come out and say, like, it could have been handled better or something, you know? That's just really when I turned on him, when he started, like, I don't know, that meeting and, like, just kind of seeming like he wants to be the guy for everything and he doesn't have the production that would warrant, like, that kind of authority, in my opinion. Once again, not fact-based whatsoever, it's my opinion. But I'm just bullshitting, so totally wrong, probably. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy and everyone loves him and God bless him, but yeah, that's just how he comes off. And I just can't deal with it anymore, you know?
And you know, at the end of the day, that's what Twitter's about, right? It's, you know, you just get this public perception. Going back to that whole situation, it was very weird the way that meeting happened, the way it was handled. Donnie handled it. That's where it started. It was Donnie's fault, really. If Donnie could have shut that down, nipped it in the bud, and just said, hey, we had a players meeting, you know, things haven't been going great. We got together, you know, we're feeling good about it. End of story. Like, these meetings happened. Donnie, in the way he delivered it, Donnie basically dropped a hand grenade on the Marlins at that point for whatever reason. And I think he's been dropping a few hand grenades.
Yeah. He was like, what's our record? Because they were so bad. He's like, what are we? Like, what the hell, man?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is it. These comical sound bites here. And Donnie just dropped that hand grenade. Miggy's then left, you know, holding the bag in many ways because, you know, he is he's El Capitan by all accounts. And so, you know, he's there. He's having to, like, field these tricky questions because it's his meeting by all accounts. He wants to wear these grievances. Yeah. Donnie's saying they haven't been resolved. It all sounds a bit of a mess. Cooper's out wearing a Jazz Chisholm t-shirt, which, you know, was pointed. You know, you could sense that, like, Coop was showing his support for Jazz. Miggy then goes onto Twitter. The only time he's been on Twitter this year there's 2 times I can remember. That one time specifically when he just goes off on random fan things of, you know, he's answering every fan and agreeing to go on every podcast. He blocks me and Craig Mish. And then he comes on
How can someone block you, man? What's going on? That should be the red flag. You got to cast into the moon, too. I don't want to hear just me. You got to send them away. First class ticket. That's all I need to know right now.
Listen, it's first class ticket. I mean, you can't block me.
I know. Who would do that? What the fuck?
You can't be blocking me for hosting a podcast that you don't like the content of. I mean, come on, Miggy. It's a podcast, brother. And I did message him after and say, "Did you listen to the pod?" He said, "I didn't listen to it." But you know, so I was like, "Come on, then." All that's happening is all he's got is he's got his friends that listen to it, that are clipping it and sending him what he wants to, you know, whatever.
Oh dear.
So come on, Miggy, El Capitan, be strong enough, be brave enough, stand up to it. But yeah, to your point, Miggy Rowe, the offense isn't good enough. The defense is fine. And when I look at it with him specifically, and I all that, take that to one side. The best teams in the league right now have serious offensive production from that spot, and Miguel Rojas will never give that. He has come in this rebuild with this Marlins team when they were down to the bricks, past the bricks. They were like underground, and Miggy kind of rose with that team. He's come as far as he can, in my opinion, with this team. Like, he will never be part of a Marlins team starting if they are serious. If they're a serious team that want to press on. Look at the Braves and look at the Mets and even look at the Phillies in this division. The Marlins are miles off right now. Oh, yeah. And Miggy Rowe would not sniff any of those rosters starting spot anyway. And actually, I don't think any of the current Marlins players on the offensive side, other than Jazz, would sniff any of them rosters. And when we boil it down, that's the problem for the Marlins right now. The talent isn't there because they haven't spent the money. They've just gone bargain basement.
Yeah, we could say, like, let's say they say Trey Turner or Dansby Swanson and whoever the hell else is a free agent. Like, they could sign 2 of those guys, right? That doesn't even put them anywhere near the Braves level, the Mets level, the Phillies probably. Like, that's the sad thing. They could give out those big multi-million-dollar offers and get some really good players. It doesn't change shit. They're still going to be maybe 4th, maybe 3rd, right? If maybe the Phillies do a Philly thing. But, like, they're only going to be better than the Nationals, hopefully, just due to their pitching. So you could sign the big talent. You could trade for, if they don't want to sign, let's say they trade, they won't do it, but let's say they trade Yuri for someone amazing, right? And put him in the lineup. Like, that's not going to change anything. They're still going to be bottom of the NL East because they're not spending, and, like, they have so many holes that need to be improved, like, a lot. And that's the problem.
It is.
Like, you want Garrett Cooper to be like your first baseman or DH or something. Can't stay healthy. You want Lewin Diaz to be good. He's got a great glove. Dude hits 130. It's like we can only hope so much on the prospects that at a point they need to realize, I got to spend money because they're not going to pan out, or most of them won't pan out. And that's the problem, that I don't think they think that way. They just think, shit, I got 6 outfielders that are major league talents, like, within a year away. Let's see what we got. That's a whole year, 2 years wasted of mediocrity, you know? So no matter what money they spend, unless if it's Steve Cohen type money, like, we're not sniffing 3rd place, I'm afraid. So
no. And with that being said, with Bruce Sherman as the owner right now, and if it continues down this pathway and this financial approach to the roster, and like I've already said in this episode, they're at a point right now where they have to spend to fill the holes because of the problems they've had with the draft and development stuff. So they have to, and so it's critical that they do that. If they don't, the question we then ask ourselves, if they will never spend, then what's the point of the Marlins under Bruce Sherman? That's the question we're left with ourselves as fans, where the Marlins become pointless. They become pointless. There's 162 games in a regular season. Firstly, I have to call that out. I'm a British fan. I don't understand the roots. I never will understand the need for 162 games in a regular season. It's lunacy. It's lunacy.
Just for us to complain.
Listen, I'm a full-blown alcoholic now because I've been following baseball. Like, just put it on a couple of times a week and I'm all good. 162 in a regular season, it's lunacy. It's arrogance from baseball. There's no need for it. None at all. But 162 games of a pointless team. Boy, oh boy, that's a tough sell. They will never. Never. And actually, this then takes us into the attendance thing. You've been there. You've been there on the weekend. The problems they face in the attendance is no one goes to the games. No one has gone to the games for years. For years. And the only way the people will go is if the product on the field is not just okay. It has to be very entertaining and winning.
Yeah.
And to do that, they're miles off doing that. And so they will never fill the stands. So we're in this endless situation where, hey, we're not going to spend the money because you're not in the ballpark, not giving us the money to spend. No. Yeah. No. Bruce, whoever's the owner, you have to put down the dough. You have to put down the dough to get the fans in the seats. It will not work the other way around. They will not come because you asked them to. It's proven. Unless you have a load of discount deals on Christmas Day and you get wives buying loads of tickets.
Pretty much. I think I told my wife when we left, I'm like, I think we'll skip out on, maybe another trip next year. So we'll just skip out on that. Unless if I'm going to a really beautiful ballpark or something like San Diego, by all means, I'll make the drive. I don't care. That's great.
No doubt.
Because there's other stuff in the city. Ballpark's great. Maybe I get lucky and tomorrow somehow win. Like, it's fine. But holy hell, going to Miami to get Bruce Sherman my money, not a good idea right now.
Not happening. No. Did you manage to make it to Disney while you were there?
I didn't on this trip. But you better believe if I'm going back in like January to Florida, I'll be paying Mickey Mouse a visit for sure. I'll be paying him a visit.
Well, on that specific trip to Disney, the Carousel of Progress. Rumor has it, you enjoy that ride. Why do you enjoy that ride? Kenny has messaged me and said it's the worst ride in Disney. Discuss.
I don't know if Kenny's really wise enough to really understand why Carousel is such a good ride. 22-minute ride, just to let you know, Kenny, in case if you didn't want to sit or you fell asleep during it. 22-minute ride. You get to go through different, decades or different eras of life. John, great animatronic host. God bless the guy. Dog Rover, his kids. It's just, and a musical score that's just unbeatable in any theme park attraction. In my opinion, Kenny, when he tries to come at me for my Disney takes, right? He's talking about like how he wants to go to Hollywood Studios. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a horrible theme park, right? So they got low tier rides, long waits, just mediocre everything. The food, the aesthetic. And if that's Kenny's vibe, that's Kenny's vibe. I respect him, okay? Everyone likes their own things. But to come at me for Carousel of Progress, which is a 1940s World's Fair ride from Walt Disney, implemented in Disneyland, Disney World, I just don't get it, man. He could be salty as much as he wants. But I think he's kind of like in the boat of Kim Ng giving answers on things, like kind of clueless. So I may be inclined one day, if I do go to Disney in January, I'll hit up Kenny. I'll be like, hey, if you're in Orlando, let's meet up, go to Magic Kingdom, we'll go on Carousel, and then I want to hear his actual reaction, because I know damn well that motherfucker, when the song's going to be playing, he's going to be smiling. Every 6 minutes, he's going to be smiling as it goes around that circle. I already know it. He might even be singing by the end of the ride. I don't know. But I think he's just telling me a load of shit to give me shit. So there's an open invitation for Kenny. If I'm in Disney World and he happens to make the trip up, I'd love to go on the ride with him. So
absolutely.
That's my honest answer for Kenny that I know he is looking for. Yeah.
Absolutely love that. What a segment that was. Let's get the final ad out of the way and done for this one. And then we'll wrap up with a couple of other quick fires, perhaps. We'll see how we go. So, guys, this is another one of my new favorites now, actually. So this is Liver Health Formula by Pure Health Research. So, I mean, this is a fair statement as well. Many of us have overworked livers. I mean, I love that statement. I certainly do. Oh, my days. It's now time to, well, it's easy to, and it's time to rejuvenate your liver health and reignite your metabolism, all thanks to Liver Health Formula by Pure Health Research. And it contains 8 liver-boosting super nutrients like turmeric, beet, and artichoke extract, all of which they work together to wake up a sluggish liver. Turn it into a toxin flushing and fat burning machine. No more bloated belly, no more uncomfortable digestion, no more feeling tired and low on energy all the time. Best of all, Liver Health Formula makes it easier to maintain a healthy body weight long term. No short term gains, just long term, baby. And as a listener of Locked On Marlins, you can try Liver Health Formula risk-free today. Plus, you can get a free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Curb Fit, what is that? It's a safe and all-natural appetite suppressant, making it easy to say no to naughty foods. No pizzas in the ballpark. No, no, no. This makes it the perfect complement to Liver Health Formula. So, where do I go to get this? Pretty simple, guys. You go to, all one word now, getliverhelp.com. Did you get that one? Getliverhelp.com/MLB to learn more. Again, that is getliverhelp.com/MLB. You can try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free and claim your free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Reminder for the final time, getliverhelp.com/MLB to get started now. Right, we'll wrap up shortly. We've gone long, but it was worth it. We've gone into Disney rides. We've got it all covered on this episode of Locked On Marlins, no doubt. So, as we head into the off-season, what's going to happen? Actually, before we get there, we've got 6 weeks to go. Sandy Alcantara going for the Cy. Are you still watching them games? Are you tuning in to watch Sandy Cy and him pushing forward to win this Cy Young?
Yeah, Sandy games, I may not be watching like the whole thing, but I'll definitely tune in to check some of Sandy. Most of the other games, I really don't find myself even clicking. If it's Edward Cabrera or something, I'll maybe have it on my phone off to the side and I'll keep periodically watching, but everyone else, there's no one in the lineup that makes me want to be like, oh, I need to watch this. Like, cool, it's exciting that Blade's there, LeBlanc, like, it's cool that they're getting some at-bats, but, like, it won't compel me to be like, I should watch this right now. But Sandy, that's like, you stop what you're doing, pay your respects to a legend. And I've never been more wrong in my life on anything than saying Sandy is going to be a 7th or 8th inning bullpen arm, and he's not well. My tweets still exist somewhere. I'm sure of it. I've been roasted before, and I own it because I'm fucking stupid. So Sandy, in current state, he's fucking amazing. Miami needs to cherish him. People that aren't even in Miami, watch those games. Watch as much as you can. Appreciate that, because realistically, we don't know how long we're going to have that. And that's unfortunate. Yeah.
Sandy is untouchable, would you say, from a Marlins perspective?
No. Because I'm always open to anybody, right? If the Marlins were to trade Sandy, they might as well fold the franchise, though. There is no physical way Kim or Bruce could come out and say anything to make that look good. I don't care if they get 7 top 100 prospects and a major leaguer for the dude. You can't trade your face of the franchise again, like after you promised you're not a rebuilding club. Like, what the hell would that look like, you know? Same with Jazz. Jazz, good ball player. I think the injuries really kind of hurt him and hurt his case, but you can't trade him. Even though, like, let's say they could make a trade that would benefit them and include him in it. I don't think they could do that just because he's marketable, young. Miami loves him and his personality. Trying to trade that player, like, you can't do that. So I'm just trying to appreciate the moments I have with Sandy right now, even if I'm not watching every one of his starts, because I know, like, 2 years down the road or something, I could be like, oh, Sandy, oh, he's not here anymore. I'm watching Dan Castano, the new Marlins legend, right? Like this isn't a thing. So I don't know. It's such a rough spot where they can't trade him, but should they? I think they should consider it. Because if they're not going to spend, the only way they're getting better is through trades. And the only people at trade value, in my opinion, that would bring back a return is Sandy, Jazz if he's healthy, and Pablo to a degree. Not like Sandy, but Pablo would bring back something, right?
Agreed.
Outside of that, who's going to bring you talent? You can't rebuild with this core, if that's what you want to call it. No. There's just nowhere near enough players to bring you what you need to be competent. So
the core's gone rotten, unfortunately. The core, this team really right now, there is no core because it's all basically on its last legs, which is a little bit of a shame, but it is what it is. How many saves does Tanner Scott get next year for the Marlins?
Oh, I hope I don't see him. I hope I don't see him in general. But if he is there, I hope he gets 0 saves and he's like chilling in the 6th inning, and that's fine. If he wants to throw 99% sliders and whatever, like good for him. But I don't want to see that in the 7th, 8th, or 9th. Like that's not well. You're not gonna win like that. Like he's been okay at times, but holy hell, I can't watch that either. He might be strapped in right next to Miguel Rojas on his way to the moon. I really can't watch that next year. I just can't. I gave it a try in like April and May. I mean, this guy's all right. He's cool. I remember him as a prospect throwing 100, and then like I'm just seeing him throw a slider and slider and slider, and I'm like, okay, a walk. Like, no, I'm over it, buddy. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. What about your assessment of Don Mattingly this season and his performance?
To me, managers aren't like super, sounds dumb again, but super important. I'm sure they are. But Don, I feel like Don just like doesn't care anymore. And I can understand that if he truly doesn't care much about things. Like if he's like under like Aang and that group of people, if they're like saying, hey, you need to play him, he needs his at-bats, we need him batting here. And like if Don has little say, and if he doesn't care because of that, I respect that. Because like you're fucking been a manager for so many years. And if you're being told how to do your job with garbage, like I wouldn't care. I would be like, I'm over this. And his comment, like what, like a week or two ago saying like, I don't know if I'm back, right? Like that type of thing. Yeah. I honestly think the dude's over it. Like
he knows he's
a young kid and he's with a shitty team. Like I feel like he's more like, you know what? I'm done with this if this is the end. You know?
I'm with you. I think he knows he's done. And I think that's pretty clear. And I think the Marlins themselves, they're not going to fire him as such at this point. There's no need to do that. And it'll ride out. Who does excite? Take away Sandy, because I'm not having Sandy. Because, or Jazz.
Yeah. Oh, well. Now it's tough.
Who does excite you in this Marlins organization right now? I guess, and I'm opening it up, including farm guys, whoever. Like, who's getting you pumped? Is there anyone?
Yeah, I mean, the farm's got some fun players for sure that are like cool. I hope they pan out. But I mean, the problem is they're 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah. So if they do pan out, shit, I'm gonna be 5 years older, right? I will pay my respects. I always do to JD Orr. He's old like me. But JD Orr, love that man. I would love to see him on a major league team. I think he can get on base. He can steal some bags. The team needs something, right? I'm tired of watching all the big boys get out, right? Everyone's tired of that.
They got to go.
But like actual prospects I'm excited for or I want to watch, I'm going to botch the hell out of his name. But Yiddy Cape, God, I hope I did that right. Dude's awesome, right? Striking out real low level, gets on base, gets base hits. The power, I think he'll get eventually. Huge frame. So he's probably one of the top guys that I'm honestly like looking forward to. And Jacob Berry, of course, right? No, come on. Jacob Berry, I'm going to fill out his application for Publix tonight, and I'm going to send it in for him, all right? Give him a head start for this summer. Holy fuck. The problem is when you try to think of good players, you just get clouded by all the ones that don't work, right? Like Khalil Watson, since he's come back, he's been like a little better, I guess. He's like only striking out like a 30% clip. But if you're their number one pick, right, and you're hitting 200 or 30% Ks like against teenagers like himself, that's not ideal. So it's kind of tough for me to get excited about him. The pitchers are all graduating, so outside of like maybe Dax Fulton, there's holy hell. I don't even know. Like, I'm not getting excited for McCampley. Like, dude's got like 6 walks per 9, and like we're supposed to be like, oh, he's gonna be good. I don't see that. I don't see that a lot of players on the team. It's just like they have tools and no results. That's most of the players. So, DJ Spilick, the draft dude. If anyone's getting fired, I want that dude at the tippy top of the list because I've heard nothing since they hired him except he's like a genius. And none of their draft picks are looking sharp. He did find Paul McIntosh undrafted, though. God bless. That is well. I love me some Paul McIntosh. He might be number one. You know what? We're just going to wrap this up by me saying Paul McIntosh, number one prospect. Next year, he's going to be taking Fortes, Stallings, Peyton Henry if he's still alive. Any of it. So, I'm looking forward to Paul McIntosh. That's my answer there.
Absolutely love it. Final one for you, and then we'll get out of here. What have you made of Sixto Sanchez's continuing rehab through this year?
I think the last thing I saw is he's got 2 sim outings, right? But I don't know what those outings entail. Is it like a 1-inning outing that he's going to be trying to go through? Or I've seen the videos of my man, a little awkward looking out there. People rip him for his weight, which to me, like, it's funny. He's got pudgy, whatever, but there's been plenty of hefty fucking major leaguers that are good, right? Like Jesus Aguilar's been competent. Ray King weighed like a cool 620 pounds for the Cardinals. Like, we've seen some thick boys produce. So if he's heavy and like producing, I don't give a shit, right? If his fastball's down though, and he's like gaining weight and like not doing well, like that's concerning. But I'm tired of hearing all these like little, oh, he's doing this, he's throwing from here, he has a little outing or a bullpen, but like we don't hear like the results of any of it, right? It's just like 2 weeks go by and it's like, hey, he's gonna do this again, right? It's like, do they actually happen? We don't hear any news on these. It just it makes no sense. So I hope the dude, if he's actually pitching, and when he's not like a made-up dude that I don't know anymore, I hope he's going through this and like doing well and semi-healthy, because it kind of sucks not having Meyer next year. So hopefully he can build back up to be competent in some form. I think honestly he makes more sense as a reliever anyways, with his build and like if he has injuries popping up like this. Plus the bullpen needs help, right? So I would if he stays healthy and on this track here, maybe give him a whirl in the bullpen, see if it works out. But I'm not as down on the guy as most. He's like, what, 22, 23? I mean, I'd give him
Still time. Still time. It's just been just the coverage of it all. Like, a pitcher getting hurt is no fun. You know, it's not that. It's just the debacle of how it's been reported. It's just this throwing from 22 and a half feet and 68 inches and whatever. I mean, it was just very, very Marlins, it felt like. You know, it was very strange. But nevertheless, we hope we see Sixto back in 2023. And hey, to your point, like, I think it's a good point, well made. Maybe he does become a bullpen arm and a high leverage arm, and the Marlins still need that anyway. We've got tons of starters. Okay, you know, it might be useful to have Sixto in there in the rotation, but at the same time, boy, oh boy, the Marlins with a closer. I think 2022 could have been different, to be honest with you. Like, if they'd have actually got the shutdown closer and not blown all those games early on, plus then had these kind of torrid runs with the offense, like, the Marlins were in the thick of this right until a point, and then they weren't in the thick of it very, very quickly. So, you know, what they managed to do, because the pitching was because Sandy's just been immense and Pablo and the other guys doing their things, somehow they kept it afloat when the offense has been historically bad and the bullpen has been not far behind that, I would say. So, you know. Yeah,
they will have to get some bats, though, to make the closer important next year. Right?
They will.
I feel like that's why they can deal with Tanner Scott this year, because, I mean, it is what it is with the offense. So if you actually get a good offense, you definitely need to improve the back end of that bullpen to win the games, right? So
exactly. I'm completely with you. With that being said, let's close this one out. So there we go. Alex, it has been stunning to have you on and well overdue. I've really enjoyed that, and I hope everyone has too. For those that aren't following you on Twitter, and I think that's your main outlet anyway, where can they get you on Twitter? Be sure to follow along, because it's always a lot of fun, no doubt.
Yeah, if you like bad opinions and an occasional meme to generate chuckles, because we're always depressed, my Twitter handle is the word pasty, Pasty, the letter A for Alex. You'll never guess why it's my handle. And then an underscore after the letter A. That's where you'll find me. I'm usually posting all kinds of garbage every day. So if you like just laughing when you're depressed about the Marlins, hopefully I can cheer you up in some capacity.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come on. It's been a lot of fun. It's great to talk, and I think we've covered it all. I think we've been around the houses and back again, and we've ended up with the same point that maybe the opinion we had at the start anyway, that the Marlins, they've not been good this year, and they may not be good next year. So
we can hope, but it's not promising.
It's not promising.
Maybe next year, if we're doing one of these, we're talking about how Trey Turner is going to be an MVP and Sandy's winning Cy Young, and we're all set. But
would be
for now, I'm just counting on watching Jacob Stallings hit 210 next year. So.
Okay, with that being said, that is your off day for the Marlins on your Thursday episode. And I am going to be back, of course, tomorrow, because it's a daily pod. So Friday, we have loud Marlins fan in the house. So be ready for that one. That should be entertaining as always. So join us again, myself, and Loud Marlins fan on Friday's episode. But Thursday's episode, Peter Pratt, Alex Ferrer signing off for Locked On Marlins. Back tomorrow.